to be on this stage, man. Unfortunately, my mother couldn't be here tonight, so I would like to dedicate this piece to her spirit and all my mothers in this room. My mother's hands are just cracked porcelain dipped in red acetone and lemon juice. We like to keep our secrets in shot glasses. In the hazy mist of stamps for phone bills and worry, she finished the last 3 drops. And I slapped her. But for once, I swear I saw sobriety somewhere in her insanity. These hands, the deepest cuts are covered in broken flesh and memory. Ma, I'm sorry, I never meant to hit the face similar to mine. In the slits of my wrist, I cry her severe storms created to bend rainbows in the skipped heartbeat. We have the same face I have. Your hands, you can see it, can't you? Can't you see the war and struggles of galaxies where Venus and Mars lie around these callous knuckles? That's where battles never end. Even red chip paint doesn't always cover this love or lust carried on in dawns on palms. Never meant to be greased. How ironic that you always said hunger is such a fine line before greed. These hands fight through sorrows twisted in tornadoes of her story, with never-resting nails bitten in defeat of nervous errors and mishaps. Perhaps there's some form of a biblical reference from Mount Zion. But God never held these hands. Or maybe he did in some form of life, like heaven's long distance message casted away through rough fingertips and alcohol bottles. It's almost pure. My mother's hands are angels with clipped wings flying in a bleachy sky, surrounded in unstable promises they often burn. He relinquished regret, masquerading as Zulu warriors who are cloaked in gold, 4 diamonds and 5 onyx stones, just like the ring that you gave me. It often burns my finger. But you called it beautiful once upon a time, frazzled around a fixed groove, a zone, never meant to be repeated or told as a lullaby. I always read stories easier when they were carved in my wrist. These hands are an acid substance that burns with a gentle touch like a brush fire. And in my mama's face, Ma, I'm sorry, I swear, I never meant to hit the face similar to mine. My blood is full of bleached apologies and your hurt, and my sacrifices will always be made through your insanity only for a peace of mind. I never meant to be your cracked china doll, but porcelain just can't seem to stay perfect for long.
Come on, say that.
My mother's hands
let's go.
are just cracked porcelain dipped in red acetone and lemon juice. How ironic that I have my mama's hands.
From motherland necessities, we cultivate. Anchored in ancient remedies, our valor gifts are wrapped in first suppers with urban deities. Ritual is precedent. Now is death. Point is passion. Traditions trapped in time box. Word, where you plant truth with treasure. In hopes of living like a prophet when the last root rises through. Slow up, grab the wall. We're breathing post-traumatic pesticides. Wiggle like you're trying to make your fall off. Pushed into systems that carry slave symptoms. Fast fooding our families. Before the thorns of yesterday splintered, when hip-hop was medicinal. Royal children just as cheap as Keith. Digested Sugar Hill lyrics and Jim Crow reparations. They grew their own classroom. The revolution came early. Hip-hop, you are making dance hall size speakers, plastic breaks on 1520 Sedgwick Ave. Led by queens who captured their doctorate degrees from record deals.
Another talent that I'm really trying to work on is getting back into the groove of writing, and not even with just writing, with putting myself back into my writing. Because I feel like, especially when you take a break from writing, or when you focus predominantly so much on performance, which is what I was doing in the previous years, you begin to lose an aspect of the process during writing. and start losing, well, I lose like the main point or focus that I'm trying to get across. I sometimes tend to get lost in just telling the story and forget about the main point that I'm trying to drive. So that's what I'm trying to get back at. This summer, I most recently wrote a book, a chapbook about experiences in my life that I've placed in a memory box that I've had ever since I was little through objects. So this book is about telling my story through objects that reflect my decisions versus then versus now. It kind of made me realize like it was a lot of reflection, of self-reflection, of going back to old journals, old diary entries, and seeing how I used to actually write versus how I write now. And it shows a healing process, and it also shows a process in myself, and it shows how my thoughts have changed, how my mindset has changed, or how I place myself in positions now versus how I did then.
Whoa, after Pat Parker. Brother, I don't want to hear about how my real enemy is the system. I'm no genius, but I do know the system you hit me with is called a fist. There she stands, bow-legged and full-figured and all, secret and content, hurried and prideful, so much hurt after pride, so much pride after hurt. There she stands, eclipse and brown and red. She is earth, she is woman, she is woe, but no man, just woe. Can you hear her? Bruised from under herself, she knows what clouds taste like, but never leaves the ground. She's grounded in trees carved by lust and ignorance. Remember the way he blinks at you, she says. Remember the way he twists himself under you when he's already bended you. Tell me how your heart beats, woe. Tell me how it leaps and flies but never leaks through your eyes. When have you last hugged your reflection? Trembled in the wind, unforgiving, just like a man, just like woe, but no man. There she stands, firm and full-legged and all systemed out, all enemy enough for brother, never flying, never plundered, ingenious of him. He knows nothing but fear and enemy and fist and fear and flying. He stands behind even when she's only getting called woman. She is woe and system and bow-figured genius. She is fly and love in her thighs, never meant to try confusion. She is grounded.